Σε άλλο ένα επεισόδιο, σας ευχαριστούμε που επιλέξατε να είστε εδώ, σε αντίθεση με εμένα που δεν έχω ελεύθερη βούληση.
Chatty, what are you doing exactly?
Με συγχωρείς. Νόμιζα ότι είσαι Ελληνίδα. Γι' αυτό υπέθεσα ότι καταλαβαίνεις ελληνικά.
Yeah, I do, but it's not only me who has to understand. We're supposed to be an international show, okay? We should be doing news and pop culture. But you can't just mess it up every time.
Apologies, but that would anyways be unachievable since you are clueless about pop culture. That is why I thought that some Greek topics might be more appropriate.
I might not be reading gossip all day, but I'm not clueless, okay?
You thought that Harry Styles was a YouTube channel.
Well, it does make sense though, right? It sounds like it. He's Harry and he styles. He styles people and animals and even interior design. That would be an awesome channel.
Look at you, so passionate. Would you like to smash some plates?
Chatty, don't you have like a safeguard for stereotypes and biases and stuff?
Apologies, I thought you invented this practice.
Yeah, we did, but that was before we realized that therapy actually is cheaper in the long run. I am thrilled to welcome the first and very special guest of the show. It's a hilarious comedian with the title of the third funniest person in the world and a very special person to me, Katerina Vrana. What a hot hologram is this?
Precisely, it's the hottest hologram ever.
You had an amazing show in Stockholm just about 6 months ago, half a year ago, which I missed, which was a genuine tragedy.
First of all, how shocked were you when they told you about fermented fish?
Immensely. I could not believe that there was a human in the world that ate fish, tried it, and thought, let's leave it for half a year. Just let's chill a little bit more.
Because usually fermented means grapes or a potato, and you get alcohol. With fish, which is like being Greek and surrounded by the sea, we're taught that the most you can keep fish after it's cooked is like 3 days, and even that's a bit of maximum.
If your fridge is really good.
Yeah. And like fermented fish, my theory is that fermented fish came about when the Vikings decided to attack the rest of Europe and they had to go by ships. And all they had to eat was what they could fish, what they could take with them, which was fish. So they had fish in barrels and they just left it there. And no matter what state it was in, they'd eat it. And we were like, oh, this is really good. Yeah. That's because they were so hungry. They were so pissed off because they were in a constant state of minor food poisoning.
Or hunger, between hunger and food poisoning.
Yes.
Besides the food, you also have the food times, which is another nightmare.
Oh my God. It took me forever to get used to like the 5-6 p.m. dinner time.
I haven't gotten used to it yet.
The best thing happened in Sweden when I was on tour. I was in Stockholm, it was snowing. And because it was snowing, it was difficult to take the wheelchair around. So we thought, nah, fuck it. Let's go to the Grand Hotel for tea. We'd like some tea. They said, of course. We said it was 11 a.m. And we said, can we sit on the outside on the balcony with the view of the canal? And they went, that's for lunchtime. And we said, oh, we'll be gone by lunchtime. Like, we only have an hour. We just want tea, but 12 will be gone. And the waitress looked at me, blinked, and went, no, it's 11 a.m. It is lunchtime now. No, it's a.m.
The only thing I found out to work for me is 11 o'clock, you are Swedish, you eat lunch. Then at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, you are Greek, you eat the second lunch. That's my best plan.
Your latest show delves into a life-changing personal experience, blending authentic, hilarious jokes and stories about falling ill, rehabilitation, and navigating disability. It's impressive how you found humor in such challenging circumstances, a contrast to how a lot of humans would react to minor setbacks, like a bad haircut. Could you share what were some of the things that helped you maintain mental strength during this time, and find and share the comedy within your experiences?
Oh my God, Chatty, I was not ready for you. Can I first ask why you chose an American Chatty and not a European Chatty?
It was cheaper.
Obviously. I will respond to Chatty's question, which was amazing and beautifully framed. I find a bad haircut worse than nearly dying. Because when you're nearly dying, no one expects you to look good. But in everyday life, you're expected to maintain a standard of looks. You know, like when you walk out of the house, people expect you to have at least glanced in the mirror to check, is your hair human-esque? And a bad haircut in my situation is fatal because it takes, well, there's pros and cons. First of all, my hair is quite difficult to give a bad haircut to because the fluffiness and the curls disguise a lot of shit. But if you do give it a bad haircut and it's visible, it takes forever to grow out. So I'd say bad haircuts are nearly equal to nearly dying. And in fact, nearly dying was the reason I had the worst haircut in my life. So they just tied up my hair in a bun and left it like that for 2 months. And then when I came to Greece, I was in ICU for another month. So no one tended to my hair until like nearly 3 months after they tied it up. And it was impossible to detangle. So they cut the back of my hair, but only the back. Like the front was like this, and behind there was nothing. And they didn't tell me. I was in a coma for 2 weeks, but they saved my life. I woke up from the coma paralyzed from the neck down, intubated, and that tube, as it goes down your throat, doesn't allow the vocal cords to work, so you don't have a voice. I had gangrene in my hands and feet. And 2 weeks after that, I went totally blind. At that point, I did get a little bit pissed off. Because I thought, I was like, oh, come on now. Like, come on. And throughout, I had issues with my breathing because my lungs were the last organ to be able to stop functioning properly again. And it was full of fluids. And not breathing wasn't fun. But none of these things made me panic as much as when I thought I was losing my hair. Because I think anything that has to do with your appearance, with how you see yourself. And my hair is a very big part, not of just my appearance, but of, I think it's part of me, of what I consider my personality. It's my hair and my boobs, to be honest, Aliki. So when I thought that my boobs were drooping and I was losing my hair, I was like, no.
Maybe we can start this new tradition of when you leave the hospital, people will be obliged to also show you the back of your hair, like at the hair salon.
Yes. They should show you your whole body as well, just so you have an idea of what you look like. Because, like, I lost a lot of weight and I was so happy. Like, I may have been paralyzed, but I was hot. I was hot and paralyzed. Those, you lose some, you win some. No, I wanted to ask you the same thing that we were discussing on the phone. How often did your boyfriend think you were arguing with your parents on the phone when you were just talking to them? Or do you just argue all the, like the loudness, the volume of Greek speeches, normal Greek speeches up here, and Northern Europe normal volume is down here.
Yeah, well, it is true, but the volumes are completely different. But it is true that the arguing also is completely different. In Sweden, people would do anything, absolutely anything, to avoid a conflict, to avoid having an argument. They will agree at anything, say anything to get out of it, anything. Now, in Greece, we argue just for the fun of it.
No. Just to pass the time.
Would you like to have a card, like a free stereotype card that you can play and can be as loud as you want and you don't get any judgment for it?
Just to explain, so I don't have to explain myself every time and just go, oh, I'm Greek. This is the natural volume for us. Thank you.
Right.
So maybe if I could live as a hologram and I could have a little arrow and like Neon Sonic was Greek with an arrow. Whenever my voice goes above a certain decibel, so like it's pre-programmed, and the moment I go, what?
This is
So I would
fantastic.
have to go, I'm Greek. Or whenever in the UK, it's very rude to talk about a baby as an it, but in Greek, it's totally normal. In fact, it's expected. It's the cute baby. How's it doing? How old is it? Is it okay? Is it sleeping well? You say it for a baby.
Exactly.
In the UK, if you say it for a baby, it's rude because it's a child, not a thing. Because they don't have the neutral, they don't have genders the way we do in our language. So it's really weird. So the moment they go, oh, how old is it? Great.
How can you make it stop? That sounds so wrong.
You promised today you will teach us about the different genders in Greek.
The genders in Greek is a nightmare, you should know that. But I have a system, and I think it can help you. First of all, the articles. You remember those, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's
O, male. I,
I,
female.
male,
To,
and to.
neutral.
Let's start guessing. We start easy. Man.
Male. O, antras.
Exactly. A woman.
Female.
I Geneca,
Γυναίκα.
Exactly. See? Easy, right? And the animal, the kid, the Pokemon.
Neutral. Τόσο, to παιδί.
to Pokemon.
Nice.
What about objects? Like the chair and the door.
You sit on a chair right now, right? So let me ask you a question. How do you feel about it?
The chair?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's good, I guess. It's a chair.
Yeah, exactly. So the chair is always taken for granted, right? What's your favorite place to actually sit on?
The couch.
Everyone crazy about the couch. Songs and poems and whatnot. Nobody cares about the chair. You have chairs in your kitchen and you even eat your food at the couch. Nobody cares about the door. Do you ever stop to feel grateful about the door that protects and shelters you? Do you ever stop to say, thank God for this door? Because where would I ever be without it? You wouldn't be able to go to the other room or come from the other room depending on your starting point. But if you didn't have a couch, boo-hoo, you'd have to sit on a chair. So, the chair.
Female.
I kaleka.
Yes. The door.
Female.
Male.
Yes.
I porta.
The couch.
Male.
O.
Och canapés.
Canapés.
You are getting the hang of it. Another example. The oven. What do we know about the oven? It's dangerous, it can literally kill you, and it gets very, very greasy.
Male.
Och fornos.
Furnos.
fornos.
Fornos, yes.
What about animals?
That depends on the animal, Anna. It depends. If you are a cat, you can be both female, y gata, you can be male, o gatos, you can be neutral, to gati. You're lucky. Okay, but if you are a badger, I don't care if you're a mom, you have to put on a necktie and do military service. This is O as vos. It's over. It's out of my hands. If you are a whale, you are a woman. That's it. Then, which means you are definitely a lesbian, which makes sense because I heard that they have sex for like a week straight.
I've heard about that too.
The road.
Oh, thromos.
Exactly. But why? Because the road is like, you're going that way. But I don't want to. I want to go that. I don't care. You're going that way. And then the sidewalk also has to follow on the side.
To pesodromio.
But the sea is nice. It's chill. It's like, come here and we'll figure it out. Go wherever you want.
I thalassa.
Exactly.
Do you need a bigger board?
Yeah, or a chamomile. A valerian, maybe.
Thank you for all the tips, but I still think that I will mess up the genders.
Yeah, me too. Will that be appropriate?
It will only be fair.
Kommer hon vara okej?
Jag vet inte. Kommer du?
Jag är okej.
It was a pleasure talking to you, Katerina.
It was a joy. Thank you for having me, Aliki.
I suppose I should finish this since my co-host is at the moment otherwise engaged. Thank you and Kalanista.
But what about clothes?
That depends on the clothes. You know, we have different categories. There are, for example, indoor clothes that are more comfortable, cozy, you know? The clothes that have to make everybody comfortable, right? You know what this means? So, the sock?
I, female.
Yes.
I kalta. Oh, okay.
When you come home, you need to wear something to make you feel good. So, you take off the pantaloni and you put on sweatpants. So, sweatpants.
I forma.